All right, Ambush. And today I am very excited because we are joined by the front man of one alternative pop rock band in the Steadies. Some of you may know him for his time in rock band known as a Wide Mouth Mason, as well a multiple-time Juno nominee, a multiple-time Western Canadian Music Award winner, and just a creator of amazing sounds, spreader of the message of love altogether. We are joined today by Earl Pereira of the Steadies. How's it going today, Earl?
Colton, how you doing? Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, it is an absolute pleasure to have you here on the show. Fantastic.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
Ooh, and of course, you guys, the band's just coming off of a couple of recent singles here, making the most of 2021 while you could, and I am very excited to dive into this. And of course, this year has brought us a string of singles, and one thing that I've noticed with some of these singles is each one seems to have had featured artists on it, some collaborations, and a little bit of variance within the sound between all three of them. So Going into the year, was collaboration something that you guys were trying to focus on?
It actually was. We just felt like, we do our thing and we do what we do, and we love it. But there's something about collaborating with other artists that just, especially during these times, I think it was important now because it brings that feeling of coming together, artists joining up and coming together. And I think that's good for people to see, first of all. People who love music, love to see that. Collaborating is kind of all the rage these days. But more than just that, the people we collaborated with are super amazing artists in their own right, and people that are important to us and close to us. So we didn't just randomly pick people to collaborate with. These were all handpicked, talented friends of ours whose artistic abilities and styles suited the certain songs that we chose for them. So yeah, we can go through it. In the spring, it was Ghosted, I'm actually rocking my Ghosted hoodie. I'm gonna have to get you one of these, hey?
Oh, it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, the limited edition, So, and that song is a little bit, more of our dancey, dark and dancey kind of club, show song where it's about, getting ghosted, but in a more epic way by somebody who actually you really cared about, and not just a random person. And Eminali, who we featured on that, is a local Saskatchewan R&B hip hop artist who I've known since he was 13, actually. And I started mentoring him a long time ago. And since then, he kind of just took off and did music production and honed his craft for like the last 6 years. And then we stayed in touch. And then, I saw that he was doing a lot with his music lately. And he asked me to help him with his music. And I said, well, for sure. I'll love to help you. I'm like, would you want to feature on one of our songs? So he freaked out about that. CBC did a big story about it. They loved that story, between him and I, and the song turned out really cool. And the video we shot for it was definitely a pandemic style video because we were all in different places. So we had to film everything in different cities where people were. We got fans to learn a dance that we created, and we cut all the fan footage of them doing the dance into the video. So that was really cool in the spring. And then the summer was our single for our kind of slow reggae jam called 2, more of like the romantic style jam. And the video we shot for that was in Tofino. The star of the video was our beautiful friend Ali Bernardi, who's a very great singer and songwriter and surfer. So she stars in the video and she gets featured on the song, which just fit perfectly. Her and I had done a collab last summer, and on a single of just my own solo stuff and her. It was for COVID. couples who got separated during COVID, American Canadian couples, and then then the most recent one was Sanjay, SNJÜ, from Delhi to Dublin fame, lead singer of that amazing band from Vancouver. And yeah, he's on Light Me Up, and that's what we've been promoting lately these days. And we got to do a video together and everything, man. And so it's been, like you said, we made the most of the year.
Absolutely. And shout out to SNJÜ, who is a former guest, hopefully a future guest once again, here on the DTP. We got mad love. We got mad love for Delhi to Dublin here on the show. And of course, I am loving this track that you two have created as well. So what exact energy were you and Sanjay trying to capture within Light Me Up here?
Well, I mean, the first word he said was sexy vibes. It's gotta be sexy vibes. And
of course
I was like, I'm with you on that, man. 'Cause, that's sort of his the vibes of his solo stuff right now these days, and he just kind of wanted to keep that train rolling. So something romantic that brought out that kind of feeling. So I brought to him a song. This song, I had the chorus written, and right away he jumped all over it and started writing. We were doing it through Zoom, just like this, and phone calls and emails, Zoom. He started writing his verse, which gave me an idea of the verse I wanted to write. So it was really awesome back and forth thing. And him and I have always wanted to do this. I mean, we've known each other for 12 years now, probably, and touring with Widemouth when Delhi to Dublin D2D was just starting out. So I've known him for a long time, and then watching them grow and turn into this juggernaut of a band, and then me restarting with the Steadies, and then we, both groups just totally different styles, but the main thing being really like party, dance, fun, which made it so we were able to actually play shows together just because of those similar vibes that we were giving off, both bands. So that's kind of where we hit off, and we'd always talk about, doing something like this. So when we finally got to do it, and during these times, these dark times, we tried to just bring some light to the table and give some feelings of hope and hopefulness. And I think a lot of the main thing we touched upon is some people kind of show their true colors during these times, and some for good and some for not good. And we wanted to write something where, if you're a type of person who is like, everyone has relationships in their lives, and it takes a lot to kind of see the people in your life that are actually genuinely supporting you and are there to lift you up, versus the ones that kind of bring the negative energy and it might just do the opposite and drag you down. So this song's about recognizing the people that lift you up, and gravitate towards them, because you need that more than ever these days. Life's too short to have negative things going in your life. If you don't have to have it, you could always not have it, and just and make new friends and make new relationships with people that raise you up and raise the vibration. So that's what this one's about.
I love it. I love that message. Luminaries of the world, unite and shine bright.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
we need that. We need that. I mean, I need it. You need it. Everyone needs it. Music needs it. It's just that it's that time where everyone's it's gotta come together, and we gotta stay positive. Everything's gotta stay. You can't let the best as best we can. Let the negativity creep in, and you gotta fight it.
Absolutely. And I love what you messaged there, the lighting things up. And one thing that I really love too is the video for this track, which you mentioned how you had to do a little bit of the writing separated and otherwise. But for the video, you actually got to connect. You got to be back to back with SNJÜ there hanging out. And I love the vibes, the island vibes. But once again, also just the use of specifically lighting inside of this music video.
Right. That was key. That was something we talked about going into it, was that we wanted the lighting itself to be the star of the show, right? Not so much just us, but yeah, like the use of lighting and the team that Sanjay put together, Saja and Diego Orlano, they did a phenomenal job with that, and came together pretty quickly because I mean, some people were just, including SNJÜ, not comfortable being out in public and doing things and, performing in front of crowds and stuff like that. And I get it. I mean, that's to each their own. Everyone's different. And I'm of the opposite. I'm trying to, I'll take chances and put myself out there to bring that message and spread that love as best as I can and play shows. And knowing that we were touring this summer on the island, I just thought, man, I convinced him. It wasn't hard to convince him. It was like, we should really do a real video for this, where it would mean more if we were in it together as opposed to cutting it separate places and chopping it together. And he agreed. And I was like, okay, awesome, man. Because I think by the summer, things started to kind of loosen up a bit. People were feeling a lot better and more lax and comfortable. And so we took advantage of that time. And yeah, Port Alberni, Hole in the Wall on Vancouver Island. That's where we shot all of the outdoor shots. Not all of it, but a good chunk of it, where our beautiful featured lady in the video, Miss Tangerine, she was on the road with us touring as our opener. So it worked out perfect, because when the director and the producer Saja message saying, do you happen to have like a beautiful woman on the road with you? We're like, yeah, we actually do. And she's like, does she know how to move? I'm like, well, she's a yoga instructor. And she's like, oh, this is going to be perfect. So, and she's a natural kind of beauty. So we wanted to have that focal point of her and just the natural beauty and vibe she gives off was just a great contrast to cutting back and forth to Sanjay and I. And I don't know, man, it turned out really good. Music videos are tricky. You never know how they're going to turn out. On paper, they could seem like a great idea, but until it's done and cut together and you see the final product, you won't really know. And fortunate that this one turned out great. Everyone seems to love it. I love it.
Yes, so I do too, and I love how you say that, because you can always have that vision inside of your head where like sometimes you can see what you want out of a scene, but sometimes maybe it doesn't come out. But like this video came out, it is incredible. I love the energy. I mean, you guys say that you're not superstars, but I mean, seeing the two of you walking on the beach all fly and superstars, no doubt.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Just being ourselves, right? And I think that's really all you can do in video. I think that's what makes the best videos, when you can just be who you are and just like on stage, So you got to stick with that. You don't have to really. There's not really acting involved. You just gotta just do you as best you can.
Exactly. Very, very true. And of course, got to do you the best you can when you're on the live stage as well. And you mentioned that you guys did have the opportunity to get back out on the road this past year as well, taking some of these new songs to the fans. So what was that like to get back out there?
It's been really emotional, I think, for a lot of people, including ourselves. And so many times you don't realize it, because I've been fortunate, because we were in Saskatchewan, we were able to still play here and there during the pandemic, sometimes with masks on, and which isn't very fun, but you got to do what you got to do, right? Sometimes. And by summer it was, festivals started happening, and our hometown big festival was the Saskatchewan Jazz Festival in Saskatoon. And it's at the Bessborough Gardens, the most beautiful venue we have. It's, behind the castle on the water, and it's gorgeous. And they haven't been able to do it since 2019. And when we got the call late, sort of early in the summer, but the festival usually happens in June. And they messaged us in June to see if we would be interested to perform it and do it in August, kind of like a condensed version of the festival, but still in the same venue. And of course, we were all over that. So right away, I started working hard with our team and building a tour that would be kind of the anchor. And we went out west and back all the way to Tofino and back. But to start the tour, doing that festival, and the capacity was 2,500 people for the festival, which, I mean, during these times, that seemed like so much, right? And it was amazing because it was packed. It was at capacity. We had a great show. It was a magical night, and I was actually trying to get Sanjay to come out for it to perform "Light Me Up" live, and we were this close. We talked about it, but it didn't quite happen. So we gave him lots of shout outs at the show. And it's great because in Saskatoon, we could put together like kind of an all-star band where we've got the core four, and then we added another four. So we had horn section, percussion section, and just even raise the energy that much more than what we already do just as a 4-piece. So that's so much fun. And then to travel all the way to the island, shoot that video, play more shows, all amazing shows too. Every show was packed, and people just would approach me and I'm sure the rest of the guys just to, almost in tears. Sometimes some were actually, where they would say they haven't seen live music in 2 years, and I don't think about that, right? Because I've been playing, but some people haven't been going out to shows, and that was the thing that hit me the hardest. How important seeing a really great live show and feeling that energy and that love, and that, when you go see it, that feeling when you go see a great show, it's just, there's nothing better. It's nothing better. And it just hits you on all these emotions, especially when you haven't done it in a long time. So I really took that to heart.
I love to hear that. And I love to hear that the fans also really probably took that to heart. I mean, if they're coming up to you with tears, it definitely sounds like they did. So
yeah,
I'm glad that you had that opportunity.
Oh, for sure. There was one moment, I think in Vancouver, we were playing at the Gilton Co. in Gastown, which was our favorite place to play there. And we did a song, and it was almost like it was dedicated to our past member, my right-hand man, my brother, who passed away 2017. Started the band with him, and he passed away suddenly. His name was Justin Lee. We call him Juice. So we wrote a song for him and recorded it on the last album. We played it live, and just kind of like, you just feel all the emotions in the room, because I mean, everyone's lost people in the last 2 years, so dealing with that, and just, it was like everyone that was feeling that emotion, and had some swelling in the eyes for sure. So that was pretty, I don't know the word to describe it. I think it's just something that I'll never forget, just that feeling of everyone's in it together type of thing.
We definitely are. Sometimes we forget it, but we definitely are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So with Light Me Up also became our first taste of an upcoming EP from the Steadies, your first collective release that will be coming off of Bristol Records, which you recently signed to as well. So without giving away too much of the magic here, what is this upcoming EP? What does the future hold here for the band?
Well, it's exciting, for us. It's our first record deal we signed, and It's still in the early stages of it, but they were behind all three singles. Although the most recent single, "Light Me Up," is the one where they kind of are giving it the full push. Um, we signed with them about a year ago, I suppose, but we didn't really get to announce it until March, and then Ghosted came out, and then Two came out, and those were already songs that were on our album we had put out before we were signed. So they were kind of waiting for something brand new that they could, you know, say this is their push, this is their release. Copperline Music Nashville is also their partner, so it's between Bristol, Vancouver, Copperline, Nashville, and their distribution is the Orchard, Sony in Toronto. So it's there's a lot of pieces to this to the business team and the deal, which it's just great to have. I mean, our publicist has been doing great too. I mean, setting up all these, Jasper's killing it, right? He's setting up all these interviews, which is really it's awesome. I feel like I'm doing interviews every week, sometimes two or three. So it's amazing. We weren't really doing that much press before, so that's a big change. And as far as the EP goes, well, we it's actually going to be a full album. We're just going to release it in different chunks, right? So you could call it an EP, but it's basically just going to be like three collections of albums. So the album title is called Triketra, which is everything good happens in threes, right? So we've split the releases up into three parts, and every part has its own title. So we're going with like mind, body, and soul, and kind of every collection of song that goes along with those three titles will kind of match the vibes of mind, body, and soul. So Light Me Up is definitely part of the first batch, obviously, and the first batch is pretty much done. We just are tweaking a couple things, and I'm really stoked about it. And we did a song called 528, which is 528 is the frequency of love. It's the frequency you give off, 528 hertz, when you're giving off the feeling of love. And so some people call it the sound of love. It's a solfeggio frequency. You can do some research on it. It's really interesting. I've delved into that world to learn more about it. And my hero, Toots Hibbert from Toots and the Maytals, passed away last year, right around this time, maybe September 2020. And he's just a legend. He's not just in reggae music, but just in all music. And I just felt like writing something kind of like a tribute to him, musically. So 528 is something that I'm really excited to share with everybody, because it's got a real Toots and the Maytals spirit to it. And lyrically, it's all about the love. So, which is going to be great for everyone to hear and feel. And then a couple other really, really cool album tracks. One dealing with, again, losing someone, and how people, when you lose them, it's just kind of sometimes happens without you getting to say goodbye. So that song is called Summer Never Says Goodbye. And I lost my dad last year, so that's kind of where that one came from. And that one came out of the blue. I didn't, one day he was here, the next day he was gone. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So I felt like putting that into words and turning it into a song. It's got a bit of a 50s, 60s kind of surf rock kind of vibe to it, which is really kind of cool, because that's what my dad loved, that stuff. And then another song that's just kind of more of like a classic Steadies, groovy, dubby tune that is about dealing with having to deal with and overcome depression during this last year and a half, and which is been a big problem. I think that's a bigger problem than COVID itself. Is the amount of suicides and deaths by there's way more deaths by suicides than there has been by actually COVID. So I think 3 times more, something like that. So felt it was important to shine a light on that issue, and hopefully that as much similar to Light Me Up gives people that uplifting feeling that this isn't going to last forever. There's things are going to turn. We're going to get out of it, and just don't give up on that. Keep that hope alive, and just know that. So that's a taste of the first batch. We're working on the rest kind of as we go. We're going to be getting together again after the new year and hunkering down in Tofino, BC, which is my favorite place, and in Canada. I just love it out there so much, man. Have you been?
Not in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, you need to go, man. It's just it's like my happy place, just being on Long Beach and seeing the ocean come at you, and like the vast, massive beaches, and it's just so beautiful out there. And I get inspired and writing songs. So I was just actually out there the other week. It was my birthday, so I spent my birthday in Tofino. I've never done that before, and it was great because I brought my guitar. I played some solo acoustic shows and brought it to the beach. And usually whenever I have my guitar and I'm on the beach, I'm going to write songs. It just happens like every single time. And it was great because I was able to write some new tunes I can bring to the boys soon. And then yeah, in February, our friend of ours has this B&B. It's like this huge mansion kind of house that he built there. And he's just letting us have the run of the place to do some writing and recording. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's gonna be a great year of new music. So stuff that's already finished and pretty much ready to go, and stuff that's still is still new to us right now that we're still working on.
Wow. So the future holds many beautiful things. So if anyone wants to stay up to date with that, the best way to do that, go follow the Steadies on social media, because there is a lot happening and you do not want to miss out.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you got to hit us up, everyone. We're pretty active on all the platforms, and of course you can go to our website too, steadies.ca. We just got to make the most of what we're given, and it's difficult and it's getting hard again with restrictions kind of coming back, and I'm really getting sick of it. But I gotta be patient, and just and kind of remember what I've been writing about, what we've been writing about, which is that things are going to turn. And I think the biggest thing for us right now is I don't want to say frustrating, but is maybe something we're anxious to do, which is tour overseas again. Because it seemed like we were starting to make some inroads in that, going into 2020, having toured Europe and Asia for the first times, and it just seemed like we were on the road to doing that, which is kind of what my goal my whole life of being in music, even in Widemouth. All I wanted to do was travel and see the world. I thought music was the best way to be able to do that. And, I love music and I love traveling, and man, it's hard when you're not allowed to do it. Like I looked into going to Australia, New Zealand, because I really want us to play there. And I think we would do very well. And I have lots of friends there, and people say the same thing, just hearing our music. And they're like, yeah, you guys would fit in like right perfectly here, more so than even in your home country. And it's impossible. As Canadians, we can't even really go there. There's so many hoops to jump through and red tape. It's like, so we'll have to put a hold on that for a little bit longer. And Europe as well, we want to go back, and even to the States. So there's, for us personally, making lots of music to make, but there's also lots of places we want to go and see and tour. So I'm still excited for that. Looking forward to that. Can't wait.
Lots of roads to travel, lots of people to spread the message of love to.
That's a thing, man. Right? There's so many people around the world that need it, and I think music is the best way to get it. right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've had a blast chatting about music here today with you, Earl. I have one last question. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, absolutely. I shoot.
All right. Very quickly, if possible. We've talked about this past year, how you've grown going into this new album, the collaboration, everything else. I'd love to know, how has this last year helped you to grow as a person, or what has it taught you about yourself?
Wow, great question. Great question. First of all, I think it's just taught me to appreciate everything in life. You know, all the little things, and including what I get to do for a living, and which is, you know, be a musician, be a songwriter, be a performer, all those things that I love to do, and I still get to do. Uh, it's it's taught me that you know, patience. You know, you've got to um, and to always, you know, keep your head up, and don't let things get you down as best as you can. It's been a challenging year and a half for everyone. It's so difficult, especially in our industry right now. Not a lot of bands are doing much, and artists these days, and I just feel fortunate that I think I've learned you got to surround yourself with the right people. If you can surround yourself with the right people, then it makes life so much better, you know. And I've been doing that. I've got the best guys, best people in my band, and we're all in it to win it. You know, we're in it together, and our business team, and your family and your friends. So yeah, it's just connections, personal relationships. Taught me, you know, you got to keep those strong, and you know, send people, give people phone calls once in a while. Just stay connected. You know, don't let too much time pass before, you know, you've talked to a good friend, or an old pal or something like that. So trying to do my best to do that. So
Well, I appreciate you sharing that very important lesson with us today, as well as the story of this new song, Light Me Up, on the Desert Tiger podcast.